Everybody, welcome to the Industrial Automation Alumni Panel. The things that you're about to hear are some really great interactions from some of our previous graduates from the baccalaureate program with Industrial Automation from Bakersfield College. I've got the honor to be able to sit down and say, welcome to this panel. This is a little bit of planning, a little bit of opportunity to really get to know our past graduates, but then also see where they're at, see what they've been doing. We've got a couple Q&A components of it. We'll go round robin through the various individuals. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Carlos to do the panel introductions. Thank you for participating, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and start introducing to you the panelists. Let me add them real quick so they can join me on the screen here. As you can see, panelists, go ahead and I'll start introducing you one by one. Let me just add you to the list real quick as we're working this technical view. Wish we can be here in person. It makes it a lot easier for us, but things are right now. Virtual it is, and we'll try to make the best out of it. So I'll start off right here with Erin. Erin, can you go ahead and introduce yourself and give me your company's name, job title, and also the class year that you graduated from?
So hi everyone, my name is Erin Huckaby. I graduated in 2020. I am currently instrumentation and electrical technician for Phillips 66.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and pass it on to Regan. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself, Regan?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Regan Lewis, and I'm currently working as a controls engineer at Tasteful Selections.
Thank you, Regan. Armando, can you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Hi. Graduated in 2018. And I'm currently working as an automation engineer at Tasteful Selections.
No. Adrian, can you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hi everyone. This is Adrian Chavez. I'm currently working as a field engineer level 2 for 2020 Solutions, and I graduated in 2019.
Thank you, Adrian. And then right now we have another panelist, Anak. He's currently having technical issues, but he is from Amazon. And he is from the class of 2021 that just graduated. Once we get him going, I'll add him to this to our panelist view. But as of right now, we'll go ahead and pass it on to Cynthia. She'll be starting off with the questions with the panelists. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Question, and we are going to go ahead and start with Regan Lewis and Adrian Chavez to answer the first question. So the first question is, what is your role and what is your primary function at your place of employment? And we'll go ahead and start with Regan.
Hello, everyone. So my primary role at the facility is just day-to-day operations, jumping and assisting when needed, but primarily I work on project work for the facility. I do a lot. I do a lot of stuff every day, and it's very diverse. Yeah, was that in depth enough, or do you guys want me to go into further detail?
You have about 2.5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
As much as you'd like to provide for us would be great.
Okay.
In that amount of time.
Yeah, so I would say my specialty has been leaning towards SCADA systems. We currently use Ignition in our facility. So I work a lot with Ignition. That includes the PLC side of it, the visuals. There is also scripting aspects. So there is Python language, database. We use a lot of that now for our operations. We have some robotics in the facility. I assist with that from time to time. We have instrumentation. So when I'm not doing project work, I am taking calls from the facility when we have equipment down. I do some project planning. I make some key decisions going forward with our SCADA system. I'm pretty much in charge of it right now. It's a lot, but I really enjoy it. It's a really diverse field. What else? There's so much.
I'm sure you're very busy. I'm sure you're moving around and doing lots of different things and have a full plate at work.
Yeah, it's a you know, it's just there's so many aspects to it. I also get involved in networking, industrial networking for the facility. So you have to know a lot of different stuff, but it's really fun because it's really dynamic and it gives me a great opportunity to learn all these new skills. And if I don't know something, you know, we have a team, we learn off each other, and we have contractors who have lots of knowledge. So when we work on projects with contractors or things like that, you know, I'm learning myself all the fun things that go with controls and automation.
Sounds interesting. I'd love to see you at work and doing the job that you do and to be able to see you in action. Thank you very much, Regan. And Adrian, the question again is, what is your role and what is your primary work function at your new place of employment?
So I got hired as a field engineer starting out. My role kind of changed since the beginning. Since this is a small company, it's based off of Irving, Texas, which is our main headquarters. When I got hired, there's only 2 of us for West Coast operations in California. And now there's 4 of us. So my role kind of changed as far as what I used to do to kind of what I do now. When I started, it was more of as a technician, doing a lot of field work, troubleshooting, figuring out the equipment, installs, demodes, stuff like that. It was a lot of remote work and traveling. So that's what I liked about it. And then of course now it's kind of like I'm doing more of the project management, operations management for the southern part of California. I mean, there's a lot involved. Since there's still 4 of us and we're still growing, I get to do a lot of like I said, inventory, that's to do with operations, any type of project, solution design. Let's see. We still work in teams as remote. We use, of course, the OneDrive with Microsoft Office, all the Office tools like SharePoint, Teams, or whatnot. And well, now, I mean, I stay in the office a little more now, but I still travel. I still do a lot of the troubleshooting. Just to kind of give you guys a little background of 2020. I mean, this company is kind of a global provider of IoT automation and AI-enabled security technology, which deals with, of course, surveillance and different kinds of automation and access control solutions. This is for on and off grid environments. In suite of software and video analytics, products include like, of course, the automation, optimization, SCADA integration, object facial license plate recognition, counting and tracking. Also, the technology delivers data-driven business intelligence and analytics, enabling people to respond quickly to events, especially for security, right? Because we deal with a lot of companies that deal with security breaches, stuff like that. I mean, we try to optimize, efficiency and minimize risk and loss.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Adrian. And I'm glad you told us actually about what 2020 Solutions is about, because I was unaware of what the company did. So thank you very much for the information. We're going to go on to question 2 now. And question 2 is, please describe a typical day at your job. And so we're going to go ahead and ask this question to Erin Huckaby and Armando Gutierrez. And so when you're thinking about the typical day that you have at work, maybe some things to keep in mind is, do you work primarily alone or on a team? What type of tools do you use most often? What software packages do you use most often? And how often do you perform troubleshooting? And we'll go ahead and start with Erin.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
So a typical day, that's one thing that I like about my job is there's, in my opinion, typical day is very loosely defined, because things are constantly changing. You could come into the work week and say, okay, I have this plan and I want to get this done today, this done tomorrow, this done the next. And issues can just come up and you reprioritize your tasks, reprioritize, your different duties, and be able to be flexible with managing your time, and while still maintaining to meet all the deadlines that you meet. So typically, for us, it's more of a field to office proportion is probably about like 80-20, 70-30 for the most part. Some days you come in and you're in the office all day. Some days you go in and you're in the field all day. And then some days you're that happy medium where you're 50-50. Being in the office, you're doing typical desk jobs. So like all your documentation, your paperwork, your meetings, trainings, doing expenses, getting everything prepared for projects, making work orders. And then in the field, that's where you're going to do all your most of your troubleshooting. So the answer or the question was how much troubleshooting you do. Every single day you're troubleshooting.
Right.
But the good thing is that, like Regan had mentioned, that this field is very diverse, and especially in my career that I have now, the industrial automation program is a very good reflection of what we do, of what I do every day at work. So you're working on PLCs, troubleshooting, you're doing projects, you're doing installations, you're working with contractors, so you have to have those communication skills. You're doing your preventative maintenances and your corrective maintenances, so you're troubleshooting. You're working with SCADA, you're also doing, industrial networking with your Ethernet. So it's kind of all over the place. You touch a lot of different subjects, a lot of different tasks, and I could go into detail on those, but like Regan had mentioned, it's a lot, but that's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm. And so these are some of the types of subjects that you've learned in your courses that you're using on a daily basis. Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. And Erin is from Phillips 66. That is her current place of employment. Thank you, Erin, very much. Anak, can you describe a typical day at your job? And Anak is one of our former students, and he is currently working for Amazon.
But yeah, I'm sorry about the noise too. I'm currently on the break room. Unfortunately, this is still a construction site. I'm currently in Florida right now.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, for now, Amazon is actually expanding quite rapidly right now. We're opening a new site, BFL2. I'm sure BC recently visited BFL1, and we're about to launch BFL2 now. And I'm a part of that team. And we're for the past few months, we've been doing trainings and preparing for the actual launch. So we're not on the floor just yet. We're not doing any troubleshooting. We're not answering any calls. We're not doing any projects as of yet. But yeah, it'll be coming in the next following months.
Okay. And so are you working in teams? Are you using any sort of new software? Any troubleshooting?
Yeah, so currently I'm in the controls team, which currently right now is comprised of 5 to 6 members. I'm the technician for the on the floor shift. And right now sorry, what was the question again?
Oh, it was just a typical day, and because you're working with a new, it's coming to Bakersfield, we don't even actually have everything. So your position is probably a little unique because you're helping to build, a company, a building in a new area.
Right. Yeah. regarding that, it is pretty daunting because we pretty much started from scratch a few months ago. Right now, the building is still under construction. I visited the site a few times, and it doesn't look like it's going to be finished until another few more months. But yeah, we're currently hovering through, and yeah, once we're started on the floor, we're gonna start off on a bunch of projects, starting with asset tagging from for all of the equipment that we're gonna be maintaining and managing. But in regards to the controls team, they'll be mostly interfacing with the PLCs and control systems, including industrial communications and the particular MHEs that are specifically assigned to us. And aside from that, we'll be answering calls from operations and doing general troubleshooting on the equipment.
Well, that definitely sounds very exciting. Thank you very much, Anak. And so we're going to go on to the next question. And so the next question is, what would you recommend, any advice to current students preparing to enter into the workforce? And so this is going to be a question for Armando, and let's give this to Regan as well. And it's wonderful that we have two females that are part of our panel. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to have another question for you ladies at the end. But let's go ahead and start off with Armando.
So what I recommend advice-wise for students going into the workforce, first of all, if there is an opportunity to take an internship, take it. That could be a pretty great way to gain early experience and also a way into a company that you might want. So for instance, for Tasteful, my foot in the door was an internship, and they decided to keep me around. But even if you don't decide to go to the company that you took an internship with, you now have valuable work experience. So you can say, not only do I have schooling, not only do I have experience in this program, I also have real life work experience working with this team, working with this engineering team, with this maintenance team, and you can now better translate those school skills into real life work skills. So internships are great.
Thank you very much, Armando. And Regan, do you have any sage words of wisdom for students in the program that are looking to get into the workforce?
So just to piggyback off what Armando said, 100%, the reason why I'm in my job right now is because I interned. But in addition to that, the most important thing is, you think school is whatever. And I had classes where I kind of shrugged things off. I just did the work to do the work. But everything that you're going to learn in that program, PLCs, motors, instrumentation, it honestly all matters, because if you come into your job or internship, all of those things are going to come up, and then you're going to it's like shooting yourself in the foot. You're going to say, why didn't I pay more attention in class? And there's things that I've caught in my work that I wish I would have paid more attention in class, or maybe I wish instead of just doing the work, I had really, read that chapter more thoroughly to understand that subject. And so it's a lot to learn. It's hard, but if you're going to go into this career, you gotta love what you do, and it all matters.
Thank you very much. We still have about a minute left, Regan, for your answer. And I just want to ask, as a female, how is it working in this industry?
I would say pretty good. I'm the only female on the team besides my manager.
I see Erin nodding her head as well.
There's a lot of opportunity for females for sure. There's not a lot of us in the field, and honestly, I feel like females can do it better.
Yep, that sounds great.
I just a lot of the things that make a control engineer great, a lot of females have that skill, and people don't try and we don't get pushed into these kind of careers, but there's no reason that we shouldn't, because we have all the exact same skills, if not better. Females tend to be more organized, you know, we tend to pay more attention to detail. Not to knock guys, you guys are awesome too. It's just, there's no reason more females shouldn't be able to be pushed into the field.
Thank you, Regan. So shout out to all the females. This is a career pathway for you as well. Thank you very much, Regan. Oh, Tasteful Selections now is official. They've got their background screen. There you go. Okay, so the next question then is, what one skill or topic would have benefited your current role that you think new graduates should know? And we're gonna give this to Erin and Adrian. And we'll start off with Adrian. Start off with Erin.
Oh, dang it. I feel like this is a hard one.
It's not a hard one.
I think, but hard in the sense because like these folks have mentioned, literally every single subject that we cover in this program, I utilize it. And just as Regan was saying, you know, you're gonna wish, and especially for me, I went in, I did all my, you know, gen ed first, and then I pretty much like slammed my way through the last 2 years of the course for basically all my upper division courses. And it was really hard, especially working full time and going to school full time. It was difficult, and so I was just trying to cram everything in. And like Regan said, it's, you know, you go back and you're like, dang, I wish I would have, you know, just dove a little deeper into this subject or this topic. But everything that we do, and I still to this day, I go back and I look through my notes, and I still read my textbooks, especially when it comes to like the PLC stuff, the process control textbook. We do a lot of that because a lot of it, for those who don't know, oil and gas that's basically, I work in the midstream sector. So we're basically we're trying to get oil pumped from Kern County all the way up to the Bay so we can make it into gas and other products for you guys. But process control is a big, I think it just more comes down to, and I don't know if that's something that the program is able to do, but just more troubleshooting, practicing troubleshooting skills. I think that's something I'm still learning, and I can see that the more hands-on I get with it. And it's fun. It's the funnest part. So troubleshooting, and then probably, I mean, I don't know how deep other job positions go into it, but just being knowledgeable of electrical design. I kind of picked that up from the previous job I had, so I think that definitely helped me a lot. But if you don't have that skill of electrical design going into a position like myself, I think that would be helpful. Troubleshooting, and then you know, yeah. So I think troubleshooting and probably getting to know your meters. As a technician, you're going to use your meters a lot, and there's a lot of different meters. There's more than just a multimeter, and there's a lot more you can do with than just checking voltage and resistance and stuff like that.
Great, Erin. Thank you so much. And so the sage advice, the words of wisdom is pay attention in class, because you will be using this in the industry. That's what I'm hearing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And so we also now have Adrian to answer the same question about the one skill or topic you would have benefited from in your current role that you think graduates should know. Maybe pay attention to, or something new. What advice do you have for our students that are interested in this program?
Well, this is a good question because it's kind of hard to pinpoint one skill or topic, but I would say, well, BC kind of laid the foundation kind of for what I'm doing. So part of what I think should be probably more focused on or pay attention to more is networking and managing your time, which involves, of course, scheduling. That's kind of with what I do is that's what makes it a little difficult to schedule and because there's a lot of various projects that we do. And, you know, you got to meet demands, right? Or deadlines. And that's part of it too. I guess another one would be, yeah, being more proficient with tools. All your tools, learning multimeters, anything that has to do with toning or probing. Pretty much networking mainly.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Adrian. So networking is very important. And in the Central Valley, there's lots of companies that have automation. So it's easy to network because we're all so close together. But we also have like Anak who's in Florida. So networking is important, and his company has you know, facilities everywhere. So this type of career, you can stay local, you can move out of state, you can even move out of the country with automation. So it's a wonderful program. Let's go on to the next question. And this next question will be for, this question will be for Anak and Armando. So what are your next goals? And do you plan to continue your education? And let's go ahead and start off with Anak.
To expand my experience and the knowledge that I've gained from what I've learned from the bachelor's program. And I'd like to build upon that to learn more stuff that maybe is not included in the program, or reinforce what I've learned in the program. So right now, I'm currently just working as it is, but I do plan to further expand that by potentially getting a master's degree sometime in the future, and continuing my specialization in perhaps industrial technology and controls specifically, and perhaps maybe touch on robotics, because that's something that's a passion of mine, I would say. And yeah, other than that, my goal is just to keep with the company and advance to the positions, and just soak up as much as I can from the other experienced members from my team and my company in general.
So in your position right now, is there chances for advancement or not?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
So currently, as I said before, I'm a technician, and there will be there's a certain organization structure above that, which includes a lead and an engineer, and I'm hoping to continue to progress to further up. So I'm sure some of you may know Isaiah and perhaps Richard Van Horn. We're currently working at the same site at PFL1 in Bakersfield. And yeah, they're also alumni of the program. I wish we could meet them here, but I'm sure they're busy right now. But yeah, I'm hoping to follow in their footsteps and continue to advance in the company.
Wonderful. And I know several of students here have reached out to me to find out about master's programs for furthering their education. So that's wonderful. And Armando, you're next. And so the question is, what are your next goals, possibly chances of advancement, or do you plan to continue your education in the future?
Got it. As for goals, I would say in the future, I'd probably aim for maybe some sort of like small scale management position as well. I do believe there is opportunity to advance here at Tasteful. I mean, myself, I started out as a technician and I moved up to engineering. So there's definitely opportunity there. Otherwise, I mean, there's opportunity elsewhere as well for anybody and everybody. This is a very diverse field, which would bring me to education since it is a diverse field. I don't know about a master's yet, but I do indeed want to expand my skill set either by pursuing certifications in related fields that branch out, or maybe get a little more into industrial robotics, or into maybe IoT, industrial Internet of Things. So combining a bit of the IT with the industrial automation side of things. There's a lot out there. No reason for you to get bored doing anything. If you feel like going and expanding your skill set, go for it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Armando. Definitely, you do not need a master's degree to work in the field of industrial automation. You can work with that bachelor's degree, and I'm sure there's lots of options for getting more skills, just to have more tools in your tool belt. So thank you very much. And we are moving on now to the very last question. And this question is going to be for Regan. And let's say Erin and Regan for this question. So the last question is, in terms of career satisfaction, would you recommend this program to others? And we'll go ahead and start with Erin.
Most definitely, I would recommend it. I've already, I've been to a that my company Phillips has put on.
Oh, you cut out. We are unable to hear you at the moment, Erin.
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, I definitely would recommend it. Phillips, we've actually visited back at the campus a couple times this year, I believe, and I was able to kind of give my spiel and go into more detail of what I do. I really love my job. Like I said, it's that good balance where I'm not stuck in a routine doing the same thing every single day. We cover a wide variety of subjects, a wide variety of tasks and responsibilities. So it's always something new. It's always something fun. And I get to work alongside some folks, other technicians, engineers, project managers, even people, you know, outside of electrical and instrumentation. So mechanics and operators, automation specialists who are very knowledgeable in their subject. So I think by going through this program, someone had mentioned it, it pretty much lays down the foundation for what you need. And you're not going to beat the price.
Definitely.
But I think with the, you know, if you're sitting in and you're tuning in to this panel right now, I think you're making the right step forward. And there's always going to be something in this field, automation, where it's changing, it's growing, it's always moving forward. So there's always going to be something for you. So most definitely, I would recommend it. And you also, to kind of piggyback off what Regan had mentioned, and where we're jamming everything up, you guys have very smart professors, and the automation program has a lot of resources. So take advantage of any opportunity that Bakersfield College will throw at you, whether it's a visit somewhere or, you know, if a field trip or wherever. Even if you're not interested in it, go, make face, network, and talk with your professors. That's the one thing that I definitely wish I did more of. Every professor I had is very knowledgeable in their subject. They know what they're doing. So don't be afraid to just go in and speak, rather than just going in, doing the lecture and doing your work. Because it's really those one-on-one connections you make with people where you're going to learn a lot and you're going to pick up a lot of stuff. So
Definitely
yeah, recommend it.
Get involved. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Erin. And now for our last presenter, Regan. Question again is, in terms of career satisfaction, would you recommend this program to others?
That is a big yes. So the program originally fell into my lap. I had finished associates. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And automation just sounded really interesting. And honestly, it's the best decision I've ever made. Going through the program and getting an internship, I now have a career and I'm extremely marketable. If you do good in school, you pay attention, you love what you do, you're never not going to have a job. If anything, like, there's not enough automation techs, automation engineers out there. And so, you know, this program is a great way to market yourself. And like what Erin said, I made sure when I entered into the program, I did everything and I could to be a part of the program, you know, extracurricular things, field trips, just putting myself out there for different internships, face-to-face interaction is still very relevant. Marketing yourself, making those connections. It's very important, because you never know where your next job may lead you. Erin may offer me a job next week. I don't know. So, you have to put yourself out there, but I love my job. It's dynamic. I'm really surprised. There's going to be hard days, but overall, very satisfied, very happy with how my life is.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It sounds like you are all in very rewarding careers, and we're very proud of all of you and your accomplishments, and that you are now professionals and experts in your field. And so we thank you very much for being here today. Very proud of all of you as alumni of our Industrial Automation program. I think we're gonna, go ahead, Carlos.
Yes, thank you, Cynthia, for asking the panelists the questions. Now we're gonna go ahead and answer some Q&As that the audience have been asking through the chat feature. This one comes from Arturo. So one of the panelists, whoever would like to answer this question, feel free to go ahead. The question is, how can internships start?
So I believe it was your junior year where, internships started coming up and professors started mentioning them. I don't know if it's different now. It feels like a lifetime ago from when I was in school. But that your professors and the program should be able to facilitate some sort of internship for you. So use them as resources. And Carlos is the job guy. So see Carlos.
Thank you, Regan. All right, our next question is from Paul Murray. How's everyone's work schedule and life work balance?
Questions, it was if you like it. So yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty good. Like I said, it's not I like my job, so when I come here, it's not where I'm dreading and rushing through and just waiting on the day to end. Work goes by pretty quick here. We have a 1930 schedule, which 410s would be nice, but 1930 schedule, which basically you just work 8.5-hour days, Monday through Friday, and then you get to pick basically any day out of the month you want off. But on top of that, that's just one of the small benefits as far as, your health, your 401 matching, your pension, dental, vision. That's all just another side benefit from that. And also, for my position, INE techs, your salary non-exempt, so you get your base salary plus you get paid overtime. So all the time I get, travel time is paid for. So it's pretty nice, but I enjoy it.
Thank you, Erin. We have another question from Anthony, who has more flexibility?
If by flex, you mean flexibility in schedules, right? Schedule wise, I guess going off of what Erin said, it depends on kind of your time off schedule in that case. I believe if you are salary, you have a bit more flex in your hours because you need to get the work done, right? So it's you're not on the clock. But even if you are hourly, if you have a good work-life balance in terms of hours, I work 410s. So I work 40 hours a week, but my days are 10-hour days. So I get an extra day off in the week. And that could be used for recovery or, going to the doctor since it might be within the week. So that allows for some work-life balance flexibility.
Thank you, Armando. So I'm pretty sure we all knew this question was going to be coming up. So feel free to answer it, whoever wants to answer it. I'm just going to reward it a little bit so we don't put everybody on the spotlight. What is the average starting salary for your position that you started?
I would say that, and this is just from what I've known and from people I've talked to, if you graduate I'm sure you're gonna be around $30 average an hour. That's just probably the average. It may be a little less, maybe a little bit more, but I would say that's a good starting point.
Thank you, Reagan. And I had a question from a counselor. For high school students, at what age can they start internships?
I can just chime in because I know that Phillips 66, I mean, we are technically global. We have job openings across the country, and they will post them. So they do have internships. And it's not just for, you know, if you want to go into a technician role, they do have them. And I'm sure, you know, if your question is, does this place or what place, my advice would be to kind of figure out what you want or what you find interesting and go and you can always just research and jobs that will have them posted on their website. I didn't go through an internship, but I know we do have them for Phillips.
Thank you, Erin. I had another question. How much travel is there and where do you stay?
Sure. I can chime in. I've done quite a bit of traveling. The cool thing about my position is that I'm actually in a trainee training program, basically. So they will travel you and they will send you. I've been up and down the West Coast. So here, all over California, Oregon, Washington, because that's where our assets are. Just recently, the big thing that I just did, I don't know if you guys are kind of keying on the news, but there was a big cyber attack on the Colonial Pipeline. So after that happened, our company kind of took initiative. We had it in the works, but after that happened, they kind of like just fired the gun and we're like, okay, we got to get going on this. So I went to all of the assets throughout LA, up in the Bay Area, all throughout the Central Valley here. We have pump stations that basically run all the way from Kern County, Taft, in between Taft and Maricopa. We have a pipeline that runs up right along the 5. So if you're driving along the 5, you're pretty close to our pipeline. It goes all the way up to the Bay Area, to the Rodeo refinery, which we're in the works of making that into a renewable refinery, which is nice to have, to know that our company is actually making leaps and gains towards renewable energy. But we have assets there, Oregon, and up in Washington. We've also been down to Texas. They'll send you down to Texas, Louisiana, wherever the work is, Montana. So I've been able to travel quite a bit. Like I mentioned before, I'm non-exempt. So on top, I get paid for basically all the travel time. You get paid, they pay for your hotels, they pay for your meal, they pay for your plane ticket, your rental car, everything's paid for. And you get, plus you get paid to your travel time. So, I mean, I think it's great. Right now, I'm actually in Kalinga right now, going on yesterday and today. Been dealing with, just making sure contractors are good. That little blurry, I know I'm lagging probably, but that little blurry thing right there, that's behind us, that's our engine house. We have huge, gigantic motors or engines that are pushing oil up the 5. But yeah, if you, for my sake, if you're traveling, you're getting paid for it, and it's fun. So
awesome. So it sounds like you get a lot of workcations, huh? How about you, Anak?
Yeah, so as I said before, I'm in Florida right now, specifically in Jacksonville. I'm supporting another site currently in their launch, a sister site of ours actually at BSL2. And Amazon has a tendency to train people and make them go to other sites to experience what it's like to be fully launched and operating. And they do, like Erin said, they do pay for all your necessities, the plane ticket, travel, the car rentals, lodging, food, and everything. And I've been to multiple sites at this point. I've been to the one in Jacksonville where I'm currently am. I've been to Georgia, there's Atlanta site, and I've been to San Bernardino and Ontario and near LA for more training. by Amazon.
Must be nice. Well, thank you for sharing that. We're stuck here in Paradise, Bakersfield, California. So must be nice being out there right now. Another question we got from a student is there a particular company that any of you would be really interested in working for? I know I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there any companies out there that stand out that would probably be like a dream company to work for?
No, I was gonna say aerospace. Right now, honestly, I love my job. I've had experience in the energy sector, oil and gas, so I knew that I wanted to continue that. So when Phillips came to Bakersfield College, I knew that that's what I wanted to run with. I ran with it. I love it. But if I could, I think aerospace or like a Boeing or something, I think that would be interesting. If I didn't have this job, I would want to work. Do some automation stuff on that side. But that's
Thank you.
I think
Thank you, Erin. I have another question real quick. Was anyone able to have a job while doing the upper division program?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, both Regan and I actually worked at Tasteful while we were finishing our upper division. In fact, our senior projects were actually at Tasteful. Mine specifically was working on one of our case packing robots concurrently with a team of my classmates.
Thank you, Armando. And then I have another question. Whoever wants to answer this. How did you know this is what you wanted your career to revolve around?
Going into it, I really not, because I had no experience. But I think the field is diverse enough for anybody. There's companies that work just directly in SCADA. There's companies that work directly in electrical, only in controls. I mean, if none of that stuff suits you, maybe you're in the wrong program, but something you have to be drawn to something in the first place, right? To start that journey on your education. So even if maybe you don't like instrumentation, that's not everything that's in the field. There's so much. So if at least one of those things interests you, PLCs, whatever, then you're on the right path. And if not, then yeah, maybe look somewhere else.
Thank you. Thank you, Regan. That's the best way to put it, right? All right, I have another follow-up question. When coming into this program, were any of you new to electronics, automation, and mechanics? Or did you guys already have prior knowledge to it?
That's it.
Go ahead, Anak.
So, not sure, like Regan said, I have no experience in this field whatsoever when I started off. Actually, when I came to BC in the first place, I wasn't even sure if I was going to take the industrial automation program. I was still testing the waters and testing what I wanted to do in life. And by chance, I found the industrial automation program and took a few classes in that. And yeah, even in my first semester, just taking basic electronics and basic PLCs and just the beginning classes of the program, or I was already hooked. I mean, the professors there at Industrial Automation, their program was amazing. And from their passion, I can feel my own like surging through the field. And yeah, I'd say that even if you don't find your passion yet, I'd say just give it a try. Maybe stick out a little bit longer, and maybe you'll find something that totally will interest you within the program.
Awesome, thank you, Anak. And then I have the last question for this session. We are coming to the top of the hour. How difficult was it to find employment?
How difficult? I wouldn't say it was too difficult, but I guess it all kind of boils down. I mean, I've had previous experience before with other companies, and I mean, I've had some technical background based off that experience. That's what kind of got me into this program. So having the degree, of course, puts that, that stamp, where it kind of makes it a lot easier. It should make it easier, but depending on experience for sure. But just having that degree, it shouldn't be too difficult. Just being patient and knowing what you want, what you're looking for. I mean, I kind of landed on this one, and it's been built to where, I like it. I like what I'm doing. of course, there's always room for improvement, and I'm more of like, let's see what else I can do. You know what I mean? So if you have that mentality, that mindset, then it shouldn't be too difficult. Just being patient.
Thank you. Armando, I know you raised your hand too, Armando.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I was gonna say it wasn't too difficult due to the internship, right? But regardless of that, I believe if you network well, get it up and running, have a good resume. It's not too difficult finding employment. People are always looking. If you put yourself out there and you actively apply, showcase your skills, you got to be a little showcasey. Work is out there, especially in this area. It's like brimming with like industrial automation work. It's just kind of everywhere.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I want to say thank you to our panelists. We are very grateful that we had our first alumni panel. This is just going to be the first of many. We are planning to have more throughout every semester from now on as we get new students graduating from the program. We really appreciate your time, you guys, for being here today. Thank you to all the high school students that joined in, our industry partners, our advisory board members for chiming in, our industrial automation faculty as well, counselors from other schools and regional directors from other sections in California for joining in to us to create those articulation agreements with Bakersfield College Industrial Automation Program. Once again, thank you everybody for being here today. I hope your guys' rest of the week goes well. Anog, have a great time in Florida. Everybody else, enjoy the Bakersfield weather. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to follow us on social media, BCI Automation.